Hello everybody and welcome to Budapest. It's time to start the Hungarian 2011 Grand Prix of Formula Racing Championship. And after yesterday's qualifying session, we already have some drivers who can win this race. One of them is the local hero, Darabos Daniel, starting from the second row of the starting grid, but also starting from the on the front, Daniel Fraser and Abobovic, the drivers for Ferrari and McLaren, and let's see who's going to win this race as we're starting in a couple of minutes. Okay, and now it's time to take a look at the starting grid of today's 53 laps race. Daniel Fraser is starting from pole position after yesterday's fantastic performance in the qualifying session, as he had a fantastic battle for P1 with Bobovic from McLaren. P3, as I've already said, it's a local hero, Darbus Daniel, and alongside him on the starting grid is Yuri Gabriel, last race winner. P5 Beethoven, probably one of the most unlucky drivers this season. And starting behind him is our championship leader Max Mietler. On P7 we have Berta Kieslin, and on P8 another title contender Aditya Bagas. P9 and P10 Jafari Blackwood and Vuji Charmin, who and they also had not the best luck this season, but they made it into Q3. P11 and P12 are two Toro Rossos, Victor Aitken and Samit Oskan are starting on the 6th row of the starting grid. P13 Rosetta Martinez, P14 Jake Dowsley, starting P15 is the Zaber of Erika Libani Hanebusa, and alongside him is Santino Andreoli, making it into Q2. But we cannot say the same about Adam Hidet and Emil Nielsen. It was really close to finally make it into the second uh, qualifying session, but well, they are starting on the 9th row. Right behind them are Alexander Arnold from Williams and Colin Chapman from HRT. Starting last today are Lionel Messi and Fernando Tost. Talking about the weather forecast, it's going to be sunny, and let's hope for some interesting racing and nice battle into turn 1. Okay, here we go. Fraser and Abovic are going to have a battle into turn 1, but probably somebody is going to join them. So we have 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And it's lights out, and away we go. We're starting the Hungarian Grand Prix with Daniel having a fantastic start, having a battle with Fraser. What a crazy start by Daniel. Round the inside he comes, but Daniel Fraser is still ahead. Coming side by side into the second corner, and also here comes Max Mietler having a fantastic start. He's going to make it up into P2, or is he going to do that? Yes, he is. He's up to second. And P4 for Victor Aitken. That's a fantastic start with Bacchus P5. Abovic down to 6th, Gabriel 7th, and Owen P8. We have a collision to turn 1, I guess. And we have Alexander Arnold losing his rear win in this clash in the turn 1. Let's take a look at the replay. of Arnold. He's been hit by an HRT of Colin Chapman, who's lost the breaking point there, and there also was a huge lockup by Adam Hidayat, starting on P17, and looks like it's another bad luck for him after getting a lot of points at Nürburgring, being hit by this train of Alexander Arnold and Colin Chapman. And that's a bit sad. Jack Dawson trying to make a move on Santiago Trail and they collide. Wow, that was very dangerous. And yeah, that's one of the most dangerous parts of the track. So people must be careful there. Okay, what about other drivers with the damage? Looks like no, everybody is looking fine after this Sector 1. Santiago Riley has got no damage, so he is going to get past Arnold, Chapman and Hidayat easily, but he has lost a lot of time after this Sector 1. Fraser is still leading with Smitler behind him, Daniel P3 and taking P4. That was a fantastic start by Victor, starting from P11 and now he's on P4, gaining 7 positions from the start of the race. Here he goes, fantastic reaction time, and well, he's choosing the inside line and just looks like he was braking early and getting past a boat who has run a bit wide there, and he's been overtaken by Dieter Bagos, the driver for Red Bull. So basically he's been overtaken by 2 Red Bulls and 1 Red Bull is behind him. It's your Gabriel on P7. Let's continue. And Daniel is trying to get the position back from Max Mittler after this battle into turn 2, turn 3. And it's Ferrari 1-2 at the moment. Let's see what's going to happen now, as UEFA Bosch trying to get past this Toro Rosso Victor Aitken, who moved down to 5th and been overtaken by Didi Vargas. And looks like it was a mistake by him. It was a mistake and they collided. They collided, it was a huge lockup there by Toro Rosso Ferrari driver. So here comes Darabas Daniel into the main straight. Max Mittler says the fastest lap. And looks like Daniel cannot do anything. Aitken and Abovic side by side. Abovic in down the inside and he makes the move. Oh! And looks like it's a Renault. It's a Renault Fuji Charmin. And it's a retirement for him. The first retirement of the race. It's not lap 1, turn 1, but it's lap 2, turn 1. Which Charmin's out of the race and Sandras are in the pits. These are the yellow flags, of course, into the Sector 1. It was Jake Tilesley just yeeting Which Charmin to the wall. And he's going to get a penalty for that. You know, he has damage to his front wing, and Terka Liban Hanabasa is going to take her teammate. And yes, it's with Charmin crossing the road. For some reason, Chapman, Hidayat and Arnold are in the pits. 3.8 seconds pit stop for Hidayat, 6.1 by Chapman's pit crew, and 5.3 by the pit crew of Alexander Arnold. So there is Charmin's car, and it's a penalty for Jake Tilesley. A 10-second time penalty, and he's joining the pit lane at the end of this lap. But looks like Daniel does not give up, and he's still fighting for this second position. Fraser says the fastest lap, of course, but no, Max Mittler is defending and Daniel is still behind him. But there is a battle between Gabriel and Aitken there, between 2 Red Bulls running wide, and Aitken is losing all his advantage after lap 1, but no, he's still ahead, and here comes Beethoven from the inside into this very dangerous corner, side by side, and it's Owen down to P8. He could not make the move, and here comes Kieslin trying to do something in this battle with Beethoven, but he's losing the time, and it's time. It's time, okay. And it's Jafari Blackwood, also behind Berta Kieslin. And also the battle for P2 continues between Daniel and Smitler, who have green flags. And we can say that Max is defending really well. And the gap between two Ferraris in front are already more than 1 second. Daniel and his lap 3, DRS enabled. Also Keras is used by Daniel, the slipstream, and Smitler is defending. Daniel trying to dive bomb, but it does not work, and Smitler is still ahead of his rival on the track. Bagus P4, Abush P5, and Aitken, and Owen has made the move stick on Yuri Gabriel, but Yuri is trying to dive bomb, it does not work. And I guess we can take a look on the replay. Yeah, it was a dive bomb by the British man, and he's moved one position up into turn 1. Meanwhile, we have Emil Nilsson P14, good race progression by him, and well, after the pit stop we have Tilsley behind Adam Hidayat. And also talking about the pit stops, probably they are going to happen on lap 18, on lap 19. As Daniel Fraser has 15 laps of fuel, Smitler has 16 laps of fuel, Daniel has 14 laps of fuel, and so on. And Bagus has an electrical problem on his car, and it's going to be another race ruined for him as he's fighting for the championship, and there are 2 drivers behind him in 6 points in the battle for the second position. Talking about his rivals for the second position, these are Bertakies and Yuri Gabriel, but where they are on the front, and we have yellow flags as Yuri Gabriel spins around, as I was talking about him having a battle for the second position, the standings, and here he comes spinning into turn 1. Was it his mistake or somebody has made a contact with him? Probably it was Bertakies, and yes, it was a slight contact, but it has forced Yuri Gabriel to spin, and probably it's going to be a 5-second penalty for Yuri. And we are going to continue the race. Where is actually Kieslin? Kieslin is on P7 at the moment. And looks like it's going to be enough for him to take P2 if everything ends well. For him, of course, not for Aditya. So that's how the battle for P2 looks like. Sam Toscan is trying to defend from the Rosetta Martinez, and let's see if there is going to be any contact. No contact, and that's great. Dave Fraser starts at the 6th lap of the race. There is some battles, and it's still Martinez and Toscan. Here comes Rosetta Martinez, round the inside, and it is going to be them coming side by side down the straight. Sam Toscan is on the inside, that's a very dangerous that's very dangerous. They're still side by side for like 4 or 5 corners, and Sam Toscan is still ahead. And it looks like Erika Hanebusa is trying to do something there, and that means that Rosetta Martinez moves up into P9, overtaking Sam Toscan after side-by-side battle for the whole Sector 1. That's fantastic. And we shall take a look at the replay with Rosetta Martinez. That was something incredible between these two, and here they come into turn 1, Rosette Martinez on the inside, and uh, here Samito's gun. Rosette was ahead for a while, but it was time for Summit to take this position back. They are coming side by side there. Samito's gun P9, Rosette Martinez P10, and Rosetta tried to dive bomb here, not actually dive bomb, but just to break a bit later, and that worked, and he's now on P9. There is a huge strain behind Rosetta, and it contains 6 drivers, and for now the gap between Blackwood and Martinez after this fantastic battle between Force India and Toro Rosso, and the gap is now 3.5 seconds. The gap between Daniel and Smither is increasing, and now it's 8/10 of a second. Here comes Sami Toscan, and looks like he's defended from Erika Hanebusa, and she now has an opportunity to take this P10. Meanwhile, we have a Lotus and an HRT fighting for P12, and that was really close between Toast and Messi. Let's take a look at the replay because we missed this moment as Messi was behind, trying to make the move, and they are coming side by side. Messi was ahead for a while, but also here comes Fernando Tost. Let's take a look at his onboard. Look how close it was. It was Messi closing the door. And luckily Fernando Tost reacted really well to this accident, and no contact between them happened, and there was no driver in the wall this time. As we see, after a fantastic start by Victor Aitken, he is now staying on P5, and Beethoven, probably he's getting closer on this Toro Rosso, let's see. But no, the gap is still the same, 8/10 of a second. Erika Hanebusa, another opportunity for her to take this P10. Here they come into turn 1, probably the best place to make the move, and yes, she does, and she's ahead. And Summit is losing a lot of time, probably he's going to be overtaken even by Emil Nielsen. But at the moment he's defended from Lionel Messi, as these two are battling for P12. And we have a yellow flag. Oh, and it's Alexander Arnold. He's got a transmission and electrical problem 2 in 1, and he just crashes his car on the main straight. That's a very dangerous place to not even park his car, but just to crash it. And here comes the debris on the track with his front left wheel crossing the road. And it's Alexander Arnold. The second retirement. Here comes Daniel Fraser, our race leader, and well, is there any debris on the track? Yes, there is, just a wheel, but it's on the pit lane exit. Still yellow flags into sector 1. Mess is trying to make a move for Nielsen. After the last race, the Constructors' Championship leader has changed, and now it's Red Bull, ahead of Ferrari by 10 points. And as we see, we have Ferrari on P1 and P2, while Red Bulls are now outside of top 10. Here Gabriel P16 and Aditya Bagus P17, and that's a disaster. So probably at the moment Ferrari is scoring 43 points, and it's not counting the point for the fastest lap. So the gap is going to be like 33 points, and that's a giant gap. As Ferrari was leading the championship after the Great Britain, after the Silverstone, and the gap was just 2 points. There are no close battles on the track at the moment, but we have Messi trying to have a battle with Nielsen, while the Renault of Santi Andreu is getting closer to them. And we have the first pit stops in like 7 laps. Messi is using the DRS, using the slipstream, using everything he can, but he still cannot be ahead of this HRT. And now Lionel Messi is trying to make the move, and that's really close. Luckily no contact between them. Looks like Yuri Gabriel has got past Fernando Tost. And also we are going to start the 12th lap of the race. And Oven is still 1 second behind Victor Oven. With Kieslin putting the pressure on Beethoven, as the McLaren cannot overtake Toro Rosso for 10 laps straight. But if McLaren can't overtake Toro Rosso, then why Mercedes can't overtake the McLaren? And we have a yellow flag, and it's Fernando Tost, and it's another Williams retiring, and with a technical issues, transmission and electrical problem for Fernando Tost, stopping his car into sector 3. And what was the problem? He's been overtaken by Aditya Bagus. And here comes the problem. And he decides to stop the car right there. Okay. The marshals working really fast this weekend. And Diane Fraser is now coming into the yellow flags section. And looks like the track is clear, and it's green flags again at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Again, we're looking for commentators for the Formula Racing Championship for the Renault Racing Championship, so if you want to commentate the races, contact us on Discord. The link to our server is in the description. Then Messi is still trying to make a move on Emil Nielsen with a huge train behind them. Not really huge, but it's enough to call it a train. Lionel Messi and Nielsen are still fighting, and here come Yuri Gabriel and Sanjit Drevli side by side, two drivers from two different teams with the Renault engine, but the Renault engine for Sanjit Drevli works better than for Yuri Gabriel. And yes, it's Hungarian, it's difficult to overtake, not that easy to do that, but we can have some drama here, like Yuri Gabriel and Aditya Bagus had technical issues, and Yuri Gabriel has spun into turn 1, and that's a drama for Red Bull. Also, drama happened last time in 2010 for Abovich, who caused the red flags after crashing from P1. And here come Messi and Gabriel. Messi is using the DRS, but he's still not ahead. Yuri Gabriel ran the inside on Santino Andreoli, but the Frenchman is still ahead of this beautifully painted Red Bull. Looks like Hidet and Tesla are also really close in the battle for P17. So yeah, the first piece of are going to start in about 4 laps. As I said on lap 18, 19. And the battle for P12 continues between Nielsen, Messi, Gabriel and Drelli, and now Yuri is finally ahead of the Renault after 5 laps of battles. Not actually battles, but just staying behind and trying to make the move into turn 1, and the dive bomb worked for this time. This time it worked for Yuri, but it did not work for Lionel Messi. He's still behind of Emil Nielsen. Let's have an onboard with Daniel Fraser, who is 2 seconds ahead of his teammate Max Mittler, the championship leader, and slashing another fastest lap. Daniel Fraser is starting the 16th lap of the race. He started from P1, he was leading for 15 laps. It looks like nothing can stop him. Or probably something can. And here comes the battle between Messi and Nielsen, which is not actually quite exciting, but Any Emil Nielsen is closing the door very aggressively as it happened already into this corner, and Santian Riley is trying to get the position back, but Yuri Gabriel is defending and he's staying on P14. Meanwhile, the G-Bucks is getting closer as he's got a lot of fresh air ahead of him for 10 laps. And we have the first pit stops. We have the first pit stops, guys. The first pit stop is for there was Daniel. Let's see how good is it going to be for him ahead of his home crowd. After a lot of bad luck, the first half of the season with just less than 30 points, and oh, he's being held up, and looks like the bad luck continues for him. 6.1 seconds pit stop, but look at that, look at that. First it was Aitken, but then here comes Jafari Blackwood. Looks like it was the same as for Abovich last time at Nürburgring. And that's terrible. That's terrible for Daniel, and now he's going to rejoin the track right ahead of Emil Nielsen. 7 bottom Santino Rivali. What about Aitken 4.7 pit stop, Blackwood 5 seconds, Hanebusa 5.2. Here comes Lionel Messi and also Yuri Gabriel. And Lionel Messi is going to be held up by Yuri Gabriel. Now Yuri is ahead of Lionel, and that's good for him. Yuri is ahead of Hidayat, and Tasley and Messi is going to be on P18. Chapman is in the pits. And actually we have Fraser also on the pit lane, but let's finish watching. Chapman's pit stop is 5 seconds, and Smitler takes the lead in this race. Fraser, and let's take a look. 5.8, 5.8 not bad. Abush is also in the pits, the same as Kieslin and Martinez. This time everything is fine for Abovich. It's Fraser down to third, Owen second. Abovich going to be P4, P6 for Emil Nielsen. P6 for Emil Nielsen. He has not pitted yet, but it's fantastic. It's P6 for HRT. Forza HRT, Forza the Spanish Mafia. Kieslin is on P9. Martinez P11, Oscar 5.8 seconds pit stop as he's battling with Eric Leben Hanebusa. P14 Santino Andreoli. P15 Yuri Gabriel. Then Santino. No, actually Santino might be ahead, but no, he's not. Yuri P14, and Santino is rejoining the track right ahead of Lionel Messi. Hidayat is in the pits, Tass is in the pits, and Smither, the race leader, is in the pits. Owen is going to take the lead. Is he? No, he's not. So let's see, 5.2 by Zauber, 5.1 by Lotus, and now the race leader for one lap, Max Mittler, is being serviced by his pit crew. 5.5, 5.5, that's it. And here comes Daniel Fraser to take the lead in this race once again, so no Grand Slam for him today. But look how close they are, and it's just less than a second between them. Victor 4.7, fantastic, and Nielsen is ahead of Bagus. That's hilarious. Kieslin takes P7, Nielsen P9, Bagus P10, and now Aditya Bagus is on the pit lane 6.8. Nielsen is going to be 5.1. And he's still ahead of Bagus, and his pit stop was almost 2 seconds faster than the pit stop of Red Bull. And it looks like even Yuri Gabriel is going to be behind Emil, and that's a fantastic work by the HRT pit crew. And Erika Hanebusa is up into P11, Sam Toscan P10. Do we have any more pit stops? Looks like no, we don't. And the gap between Fraser and Smitler has decreased. It was 2-3 seconds, now it's just 1 second. And we have here Gabriel and Emil Nielsen coming side by side. Come on, Emil. Keep the position, and yes, he's still ahead of the Red Bull. HRT has a fantastic pace. And Emil has a chance to take at least 1 point today and to make it into top 10, but let's see what's going to happen. It's not even half of the race done yet, so we have both Red Bulls behind Emil, and looks like Emil is holding them up, and it's going to be a train behind him. But anyways, it looks like it's HRT faster than Red Bull. Is it? Is it? Yes, it is for now. As your Gabriel cannot do anything. It's Hungarian, it's Monaco without the walls. Here comes your Gabriel again. No, he cannot do anything even with the... never mind, they're still side by side. And looks like Emil Nielsen is going to be ahead or behind, and he's going to be ahead. As even Bagus is getting closer to Yuri, and there's going to be a battle between two teammates at the Red Bull. But also let's don't forget about this guy, about Santin Andreoli, who's now situated on P15. And Yuri Gabriel and Emil Nielsen fighting once again. But Emil is still ahead. And look at that, such a massive train behind him. And actually it reminds of Yuri Gabriel, or just somebody from the 2010 HRT, when they did not have a lot of opportunities to score at least 1 point. But at the end of the season, Yuri Gabriel has scored the point in a fantastic race. And this happened in Japan. Yeah, what I was talking about is that HRT is not the best team, but sometimes they can be, they can have really good drivers who can keep Red Bull for 5 laps straight. Uh, 30 laps left at the moment. And we have 19 drivers competing this race. They just have rear wing camera with from Emil Nielsen's car. And just enjoy the moment as the HRT is ahead of 2 Red Bulls. But sadly it's not a battle for the podium, it's a battle for P12. But still fantastic moment. Oh no! Oh no! From a fantastic moment to a disaster, it's a transmission problem for Emil Nilsson. Oh god. But that's why the Hungarian Grand Prix is one of the most dramatic races of the season. That's how people think the commentator's job looks like. He just commentates all the things that happen on the track. But no, he says that the driver has chances to take a podium, to take P2 in standings, or to get into the top 10. But it does not happen, as commentator ruins people's careers. Yeah, that's it. If you want me to ruin somebody's career, just text me. I'm going to be really happy to help you. Anyways, we have two Force Indians in top 10. Lap 26, getting closer to half point of the race. And we have only 18 drivers in the race at the moment. I don't know, nothing happens in the track at the moment, so we can talk about something different. And with cars going vroom vroom on the background. Um, yeah, actually the next race is going to be at Spa-Francorchamps, one of the most popular tracks in the world, and one of the longest ones in the F1 calendar. Basically the longest one. And it's going to be another Formula Renault weekend there, with 22 drivers in these small short cars going around 7 kilometers track. And there are actually a lot of exciting races happened um, this season in these 3 weekends that took place at Assen, Hockenheim and Nürburgring. And we have a fantastic battle for the championship, as we have Kitty Fun and Horlacher with the same amount of points on P1 and P2 after Nürburgring. After Hockenheim we had also 2 drivers fighting for the championship, and these drivers were Kitty Fun and Pavin. And after Assen, after the first round of the season, we had Labogta, Dimikulangan, Pavin, Horlacher and Agus Speed taking P1 with 10 points for everybody in this group. We have Chapman being overtaken by Fraser, and he's going to be overtaken by the second. Okay, not by the second, by another Ferrari, and it's going to be Max Mittler. So I guess we can have an onboard with the best team in the world. The Hispania Racing Team. And also talking about Formula Renault, we have Rika Hanebusa beaten, and here comes the uh here come the another uh here come another pit stops. Okay, Erika Hanebusa 5.4 seconds pit stop. Yuri Gabriel, who's now on B15 7 seconds. Not the best pit stop, but anyways, we have Lionel Messi. It's 6.8. And we have Max Mittler going for an undercut on his teammate. So probably I'm going to talk about Formula Renault a bit later. And here comes Max Mittler for his second pit stop in this race. Let's see, the pit crew is working really fast and it's 4.9. Fantastic. That's fantastic. Kieslin moves up into P4 and we have Oven, Baked Oven. And the McLaren driver has 6.6 pit stop, Fraser's P1, abolish P2, and oh, she's been held up by Rosetta Martinez. Oh dear. Aditya Bucks on P10, and we have Santina Andreoli in the pits. What I was about to talk is about how unpredictable Formula Renault is, and not just, oh my god, there is a battle between two drivers for the championship, wow, they have the same amount of points. No. So basically, after Hockenheim, there were 4 drivers with no points at all, and one of them was Dylan Ebrahimian, number 30. What's happened to him? At Nürburgring, if you don't remember, he took P2 in race 1 and P2 in race 2, so 16 points overall. Dane Fraser in the pits, he moves down to 3rd, and there is a battle for P1. Max Mittler and Dane Fraser. I think I'm going to finish the sentence later. So yeah, Fraser is going to be ahead with 5.4 seconds pit stop. So Ebrahimian was P2 in race 1 and P2 in race 2. So 2 podiums and 16 points. So what happened to him? From 0 points to 16 points, and from basically last position he is now on P6, and that's fantastic how people can make 16 positions up after just 2 races. Okay, Sam Toscan was in the pits, he is now on 11th position, returning the track ahead of Erika Hanebusa. Jack Dess is in the pits. And this is going to be 5.6. Gabriel gets past Andreoli, and Messi gets past who? I don't know. Bosch and Daniel are in the pits to race leaders, but the race lead is going to be retaken by Daniel Fraser once again. Max Mittler second. Daniel and Abovic are in the pits. 5.8 by Abovic, and Daniel is being overtaken by Abovic there, and looks like the gap is increased. Bertek is on P5, and he's going to be behind his teammate, as Daniel is having a fantastic race after this mistake on the pit lane, after I jinxed him, hahaha. Okay, Kirsten P5 on P6, then Buggers, a fantastic comeback. Aitken, Blackwood and Martins on P10, then Oskan, Hanebusa, and here Gabriel only P13 for him, but no, actually it's not a comeback. Buggers has to pit this lap, and there is going to be the pit stop by Aditya, and that's the only pit stop. The only one. No, also Adam Hida is pitting, he's now on P16, and well, let's see what's going to happen with the Red Bull Renault driver. The gap between P1 and P2, 1 second, 1.8 seconds. And Aditya Bagus is now completing the final corners to enter the pit lane for his second pit stop. Or probably for his third pit stop. I think it's his third pit stop actually. Because he's got problems, then the second pit stop and the third pit stop. Yeah, it's the third pit stop for him. Probably. I don't remember. 5.2, not bad. And here's Erkaliban Hanebusa. Talking about the pit stops, it's going to be his... It's going to be his third pit stop. Yeah, I was right. So now he's going to be on P12 ahead of Yuri Gabriel. And Hidayat is in the pits after this damage on lap 1. Oh, he's been held up by the HRT. The great HRT master plan works, and here comes Amit Toskan. Actually, he does not come, he just stops the car on the gravel trap in the chicane. It's an engine failure for him, and rest in peace this 1 point. And looks like Eric Caliban Hanebus is going to take P10 after starting on P15. That's fantastic. And Bagus is now even closer to the points zone. He's now on P11. Really good performance by him. And what about any battles? No battles at the moment. Still yellow flags. Probably these are the longest yellow flags of the race. Even the lap 1 accident was shorter. It had shorter yellow flags period. So there is a 15 points gap between P1 and P3, between Fraser and Labovich, and just 2 seconds between Fraser and Smitler in the battle for P1. It's already lap 40, so it's 15 laps remaining in this race. So actually I can say that the 2010 Grand Prix was better. We have no yellow flags and it's green flags, and we can be racing. We can race again. Okay, looks like we're going to have no more pit stops, and Chapman is going to be overtaken by Abovich. Well, are we going to have any more pit stops? No, we are not. So basically everybody was on a two-piece sub-strategy, except some drivers who have got some problems with their car or they got some damage. And we have yellow flags again. Oh, it's Lionel Messi! And that's a huge impact to his car. And another retirement of the race. What he's doing, he's putting the reverse and trying to ruin somebody's race. As there was the FRC right behind him. Let's take a look at the replay, and it was another failure. And it's a failure of the engine of the powertrain. That's it, he just crashes and decides to go on a reverse. Here comes Hidayat to get past his teammate, and he moves up into P15. Talking about the driver who's got the best start of the race is now on P7, but still it looks like a good result. If I'm going to say that he can never take for P6, he can never take for P5, he's going to be the driver of the day, he's going to get some problems, he's going to spin or something like that, so I'm not going to do that. And we have another yellow flags, and it's Jake Dowsley with another engine failure. What's happening with the drivers' engines today? Can somebody explain me? What is wrong with them? Is it just too hot or something different? I don't know. But everybody's engine is just blowing up for some reason. And that's a bit strange. And looks like there is a damage to Daniel's car. Whoa! And we missed another accident between Abovich and Daniel. And it's like the feeder series in real life. The most interesting happens in the last 3 laps. Oh god. That's actually happened. The phrase Senior Kaka accident from Hungarian 2010 race is now remastered by these two guys, by Daniel and by Abovich. Nice recreation, guys. And it's going to be victory, it can happen to P5 after what I've said about him. Well, what's happening? What's wrong with me today? Still yellow flags, but yeah, we go green again with final 12 laps. And yeah, Daniel's in the pits. And it's 7.3 pit stop, and he is going to be outside the top 10. Probably the only driver who can challenge Baked Oven at being unlucky is Daniel. Okay, we've got only 2 cars lopped by the leaders and these drivers, Adam Hidayat and Colin Chapman. Okay, we have Daniel trying to overtake Santiago Riley for P11. And looks like Santiago does not give up, even if Mercedes is one of the fastest cars on the grid. Looks like Daniel is also not going to give up as he's racing ahead of his home crowd. And we'll have 7 laps remaining in this very long race with a lot of engine failures. So basically this race was sponsored, by Honda engines. Honda engines, we give you blown engines. Here comes Daniel trying to make a move on Santiago once again, but it does not work, he's still behind. Even if he's trying all the best to make the move on Santina. But it's Hungary, it's very difficult to overtake. Okay, here he comes down the main straight on this Renault. No. And we have another yellow flag. Oh, it's Daniel! And he's crashed with Santino once again. For God's sake, what's that? This time the crash was much accurate. The crash between Fraser and Sierra Kaka. Yes, that's a huge impact for both cars. Just look at that from this camera. It looks like a high-speed crash. High-speed collision. Okay, the marshals. What's wrong with you? Oh! There is a wheel right on the racing line. That's very dangerous. Looks like no, it's been removed, so it's alright. Meanwhile, we have 2 marshals who got problems with their back. And hopefully they are alright. And now we have only 12 cars. So Hidhead is even closer to get points. But of course I'm going to say that he's not going to get points because it's Lotus, blah blah blah. And we have 5 laps remaining. And Bagus is getting closer to Erika Hanebusa. Let's hope there's going to be no collision between them. And Daniel Fraser is about to complete the 49th lap of the race and start the lap number 50 of 53. Well, let's take a look. He crosses the line and we have just 4 laps remaining. With Fraser P1, Smither P2 and Hidayat P3. Hahaha, no P11. And Bertikes on P3, another solid result by him. As he's finished second at Nürburgring, he's won the British Grand Prix, and he finished on P3 at Hockenheim. Then he finished on podium at Monaco, and he is on the podium every race since Monaco. And these are the fantastic statistics. Bagos gets past Eric Liban Hanebusa, and there were actually no collision between them, and that's really good. Aditya Bagos ran the inside into turn 1, of course, and it was not a very easy move, but Aditya is ahead, and it's really good for the constructors championship because every point counts, even if it is Ferrari 1-2, but this race for Red Bull was awful. Only P8 and P10 at the moment, so 3 points for them compared to 43 points for Ferrari, and I am not even counting point for the fastest lap. So looks like the gap is going to be like 30-31 point between Ferrari and Red Bull. Okay, 3 laps remaining. Do we have any battles? Yeah, looks like we have. As we have 8 on P5 and Blackwood on P6. Less than a second between them. Blackwood is using the DRS, and also close between Bogus and Hanebusa. But the gap between them is increasing as it's Bogus on Red Bull and Eric Levan Hanebusa on Sauber. There is a huge difference in the performance between these two cars. So Fraser starts the 52nd lap of the race with 2 laps remaining. The gap between these two Ferraris was 2 seconds for the whole race. Actually, not for the whole race, but for the whole second half of the race. Not counting the pit stop periods. So 2 laps remaining, and Kirsten is on P3. With Smith P2 and Fraser P1. We'll just have a little board with Daniel Fraser. He's already on sector 3 of lap 52. And he's going to start the final lap of the race. Let's see if he is going to keep the lead. And as he completes the second sector, the middle sector, it can be his first win since Monaco. Well, let's see how good he is going to be in the final sector as it he completes the middle sector, just less than 30 seconds to wait to know who's going to be the winner of the Hungarian Grand Prix. So here comes Ian Fraser into the final couple of corners, and now into the final corner comes Daniel Fraser to win the Hungarian Grand Prix with a Ferrari 1-2. Daniel Fraser finishing P1 and Max Mitra finishing second. That's fantastic. He did finish in P11, still not enough to get the points, but still it's a very good result. P11 with a damage on lap 1, the whole race ruined, but it's still P11 is P11. Here comes Berta Gesslin to get another podium for 4th, 5th or even 6th time in a row. I did not count, lol. Beethoven finishing 4th, Chapman P12, and here comes Victor Aitken, probably the driver of the day, but for me, he is. Victor Aitken finishing P5, with Blackwood P6, Rosetta Martinez and FRC India finishing P7, Aditya Bagus, after the engine failure, as his car has been repaired, he finishes on P8, Erika Hanebus P9, and Yuri Gabriel on P10, but he gets a 5-second time penalty, so it doesn't matter, as it's still going to count. Dane Fraser finishing the race on P1. Congratulations for his another win, for the first one since Monaco, as I've already said. Okay. Okay, talking about the final race results, let's take a look at it once again. Dane Fraser wins the race, which length was 1 hour, 11 minutes, 2 seconds, and 283 thousandths of a second. Max Mitra finished second with just 2 seconds behind his teammate. They have almost at the same pace for the whole race. P3 for Berta Kieslin, congratulations, with P4 for Beethoven, P5 Victor Aitken from Toros, a fantastic result. P6 Jafar Blackwood, P7 Reset Martinez, P8 Aditya Bagos, P9 Eric Hanebusa, and P10 Yuri Gabriel with a 5-second time penalty, but it does not matter. Also at the top 10 we have Adam Hidayat and Colin Chapman, who finished the race, and then the retirements, Darbas Daniel, who crashed with Santino Andreoli, Abolish also collided with Daniel, so Daniel has got a combo. Jake Talsley has got an engine failure, Messi engine failure, Simon Toscan, sorry, okay, Talsley engine, Messi puncher, Simon Toscan transmission, Emil Nilsson engine, Fernando Tos throttle, Alexander Arnold transmission, and Vuch Sharman a collision on lap 1. Well, that's it. Now it's time to take a look at the driver's fastest laps, and it's an additional point, actually not, to Darbus Daniel, but at least he gets the fastest lap, and congratulations, he did not finish the race, but a fastest lap is still something. And now it's time to listen to the national anthems. First, it's the anthem of the United Kingdom, and then the kingdom, oh god, and then the anthem of Italy. Okay, looks like the anthems do not work, sorry for that. But anyways, that was right to remember. Thank you everybody for watching, and see you next time for the qualifying session of Formula Renault at Spa-Francorchamps. See you, and I wish you